How do you calculate training intensity for endurance goals? Imagine you're trying to run faster or go longer without getting tired. To do that, you need to know how hard you're working during each workout. That's where training intensity calculation comes in. It helps you find the right effort level to improve endurance without overdoing it. First, athletes need to find their key physiological markers, like the aerobic threshold and the anaerobic threshold. The aerobic threshold is the point where your body mainly uses oxygen to produce energy, with little lactate building up. Training at or just below this level helps boost your endurance and energy efficiency. The anaerobic threshold, also called the lactate threshold, is where lactate starts to accumulate faster than it can be cleared. Training near or just above this point helps you sustain higher speeds and delay fatigue. To measure these thresholds, athletes often do tests like lactate threshold tests, VO2max tests, or power tests. For example, a lactate test involves taking small blood samples during exercise to see when lactate levels rise. Power tests, like a 3-minute all-out effort, help determine your critical power, which is a good indicator for setting training zones. Once you have these numbers, you can set your training zones. These zones are usually based on percentages of your maximum heart rate, lactate levels, or power output. For example, low-intensity zones are below your aerobic threshold, moderate zones are around your aerobic to anaerobic thresholds, and high zones are above the anaerobic threshold. Many athletes follow an 80% low-intensity and 20% high-intensity training split. This means most of your training is at a gentle effort, with some sessions at higher intensities to push your limits. To keep track, use heart rate monitors, power meters, or simply rate your perceived exertion on a scale from 1 to 10. Monitoring how much time you spend in each zone helps you balance your training load. For example, if you want to improve your aerobic capacity, focus on spending most of your time below the aerobic threshold. If you aim to increase your ability to sustain higher efforts, include more workouts near or above the lactate threshold. The key is to structure your training so that you get enough low-intensity work for recovery and endurance, along with strategic high-intensity sessions for adaptation. By calculating your training intensity based on these markers, you can make your workouts more effective and safer. Remember, consistent testing and monitoring are essential to stay on track and reach your endurance goals. So, understanding your thresholds and setting your zones accordingly is the foundation for smart, targeted training that will help you go further and faster.